the Goose podcast where we talk about all the latest shenanigans we've been up to. I'm Nick. That's Zach. Welcome back. If you're new here, just the welcome. No back.
Yeah, because that would be silly to say welcome back when you've never been here before.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Captain Banal.
Hey, it's early.
It's not that early.
It's early.
It's not that early. When you have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to drive 5 minutes to your work, then you can complain. Then you can worry about it. Zach, happy Lunar New Year.
Yes. Happy Lunar New Year.
And well, it's not for us. Not for the US of A. No, technically it's tomorrow. Technically it's the 22nd. But it is the year of the rabbit. Which neither of us are. We're not rabbits. Tricks are for kids.
Say that I have the soul of B-Rab, but you know, other than that, no.
Is that the character from 8 Mile?
Yeah.
Okay. Really? 8 Mile reference this early in the podcast? Whatever. Welcome in.
Oh, there goes gravity.
You gonna quote more Eminem at me?
Yeah.
Eminem #1 fan?
I would say that, no.
No? When was the last time you listened to an Eminem song, like, because you chose it?
Oh, I have a couple of them on playlists here and there.
Okay, fine. When have you selected an Eminem song on purpose?
I mean, I've done it before.
I know you've done it before. When was the last time you did it?
I don't really select anything on purpose other than a playlist nowadays.
Fair enough. You know what? Actually, fair enough. Unless it's like a new song that I've discovered, or it's like, hey, I heard this on the radio, then I'll look it up and everything, or it's on TikTok or whatever. I find most of my music nowadays through like TikTok, because then you get to find like the people who are like, I want to be the next Logic, or I want to be the next, Imagine Dragons or whatever.
Then you can't separate. It becomes a noise or whatever, and then you can't separate it from the noise.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you can actually find like good musical artists that have.
What are you doing back there? Stop, guys.
Hey, chill out, guys.
Sorry, they're both like fucking chewing right behind me.
Chewing what?
Themselves.
Oh, naughty. I get it. I gotcha. Well, it's Lunar New Year.
It is.
I want to do something really quick. It's non sequitur, game related, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, go for it.
So as you're aware, as our audience is aware, and as you are aware, I have a nasty obsession with Genshin Impact.
Yes, one might call it addiction.
Yeah, quite literally. Zach, it's under an exorbitant amount, but try to guess how much money I've spent on this game.
I don't know, like $50.
Maybe a little bit. I would say it's under 100 on this game.
Okay,
but with the amount of hours that I've spent in this game, it's not a bad deal. For like the average WoW player,
Yeah, I mean,
solid guess.
It's if you feel comfortable in spending that money, right? Like that's kind of like always the tug and pull with gacha games.
Yeah,
games as a service or whatever. But I mean, as long as you see value in whatever you're spending your own money on, then man.
Thank you. I appreciate the validation. I wanted to do something real quick. It's a quick gotcha pull, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, go for it.
So the last big pull, and the people who spend like a ton of money, like thousands of dollars on Genshin. Thank you. The thousands of dollars that people spend on Genshin, they're called whales. Like The Whale, starring Brendan Fraser. Go see it. It's sad. It's holding on. Side tangent to my side tangent. When was the last time you went to go see a movie because it was sad? I had like a talk with our mutual friend D about like, I don't want to watch this movie Grave of the Fireflies because it's sad.
I can't recall a time where I actively sought something out just because it was sad.
Right.
It was usually like, I hear this is good, but it's really depressing.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need a good cry.
Yeah. I agree. I partake in some bleak content, or I don't call it content.
What about a bleak
that's
podcast?
Bleak in itself, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I've watched sad stuff and I don't mind it. So
There you go. I appreciate that. You know, it shows that you're willing to open up your feelings, like your wallet, like I have done. So, like I said, I've spent like less than $100 on this game. Spent thousands of hours in this game. But more recently, I've actually made the biggest purchase. I spent $40 to get enough of the in-game like crystal things. They're called Primogems. Primogems, and I spent it all to get. This is going somewhere. Just hang on. To get her, to get Raiden Shogun, because I missed her banner a year ago or so. Anyway, spent $40 to unlock her character because I lost the 50-50. For those that know. Anyway, we're trying to get Green Man here. We're trying to get Crystal Leaf Green Man. His name's Al Hatham, or Al.
All I see is a rat. Mostly because it just ends up getting in my beard. Oh, hey, look.
Yeah, I did it. I had to change it in Discord, not in OBS. I'm stupid. Are you able to hear any sounds?
No.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this whole fucking thing went into a side tangent of a side tangent of a side tangent with oatmeal and Genshin. I just wanted to pull this, and I wanted you to cheer me on. Okay, so you can't hear any of it, but just imagine ethereal ooh la la. You haven't played this game, so I'm just trying to set the stage for you. Okay,
I play a real weebs game, Final Fantasy 14, now with the acclaimed expansion pack, Heavensward.
What a nerd. What a nerd.
You can play for free up to
certain level?
Level 75.
And then you got to start paying. You don't technically have to spend a single dime on this game, and I think it's amazing. And I can play it on my phone. So we're pulling for Green Guy, okay?
Green Guy.
Green Guy number one.
Buzz Lightyear, we believe in you.
Okay, I've got 2 wishes, and then I have enough money for 1 final wish. We're looking for gold. We're looking for gold.
Gold, baby.
Did not get gold. I would know already.
Oh, okay. That's sad.
No, you kind of like know like halfway. I got a club. I'll melt it away. You know it's gold like halfway through the like little trajectory
like
thing.
Color stream.
Yeah. Didn't get. If it's not even purple, I don't care, right?
Oh, 2 clubs.
Love woo! They're gonna get melted into another weapon. All right. Wow, this is all for nothing. This is all hype for nothing.
You're just getting clubs
and books.
A book.
Shut up! I don't care. I don't want it anymore.
Thus,
actually, I need to close out on that.
The rise and fall of gacha games.
No, but the highs are high just as much as the lows are lows. Hang on, he's eating his oatmeal.
I'm really hungry.
What time did you wake up? Did you wake up like 5 minutes before the podcast?
Well, I woke up at 10:30, but then I had to take the dogs
minutes.
out.
Gotcha, yeah. Who let the dogs out, Zach? Who?
Well, nobody let them out because they're on leashes. And I carry them downstairs, which, by the way, will be the last week I have to do that. Thank God.
I know, yeah, you're moving next week.
Woo!
Woo!
To a first floor. No more stairs, ever. I will never climb another stair in my life.
I mean, you will, because you have to climb the little steps up into your building.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's how the plumbing works.
I refuse. There's going to be a little cart parked outside of my apartment, and anytime I need to get up any perceived step there, I jump in the cart, and I'm going to have Casey come out and roll me in.
That seems extra.
Yeah. No more stairs.
I mean, there's also ramps.
You were talking about New Year's resolutions before. This is my lunar New Year's resolution.
Okay, yeah, you have a second chance here. Yeah, I just realized our last episode was the New Year's podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whoops. It's not my fault. Their calendar is off
Every
by.
podcast episode is a new year.
Well, when you make as many mistakes and as many technical issues and as many just stories about how to make oatmeal, I wasn't even paying attention. You know, I hate oatmeal. I hate oatmeal.
You know,
It's the worst grain.
yeah, I can't fault you. Casey has tried probably like 20 times
Right.
within the last 5 years to get on board the oatmeal train. Because I eat oatmeal every day. Like, that's my breakfast every day, essentially. And she's like, it's so much better for you than, like, you know, pancakes or whatever, bacon. I should really like try to eat it more. And then every single time she will eat like one day of oatmeal, and she's like, God, I just don't like it. All right, more for me.
Today, okay, so I just realized that malto-meal is not oats. It's just a combination of farina wheat and malted barley, which is the malt in malto-meal. Because I was gonna say malto-meal, fantastic, but it's really just like it's a soupy cereal. That's what it is.
I don't think I even know what malto-meal is.
What? Really?
I don't. Yeah, if I've seen it, it's past my periphery. I don't recall.
Oh, it's always been on the shelf like with oatmeal. You know, as like this is a grain.
Well, one would have to
breakfast.
go into a grocery store.
You went to grocery stores before the pandemic.
I did, but it's been a long time.
I forgot what I was going to say before I did those pulls in Genshin. But I have a problem. I have a very serious problem. Any free time that I have in between work and sleeping and eating is filled with Genshin. Especially more recently. They do their Lunar New Year event every year, and it's a lot of content that they drop. And I'm just trying to, and I honestly don't know where my addiction starts. I don't know if it's collecting the characters, if it's the story, if it's the game's relatively
just coalesce all into one thing.
Yeah. I mean, I used to not get how people can be addicted to like MMO RPGs like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14. So I started playing this game like just randomly one day. I don't even know what like I don't know what interests me. I don't know what pulled me into the game initially.
Yeah. Well, I think I know.
Why? Is it the anime waifus?
Anime waifus.
Anime waifus. There's husbandos too.
Yeah, the same thing. Anime husbandos. Yeah.
I gotta show you one of the commercials because it's one of the worst game commercials ever. It's this bullshit. Hold on. The skip ad is in the actual ad. It's not the thing.
You guys are using the wrong characters. You see, Kaya is a cryo, but this monster is immune to cryo. Don't use Kaya to challenge this enemy. I can help you guys take on this monster.
Don't be a fucking moron, all right? Clearly, have you ever played Pokemon before? We're not advertising Pokemon. But you gotta use fire against the ice, you idiot. You gotta use ice against the fire. You gotta use water against the fire. And the leaf power is something...
Dangni, who's a pyro.
Awesome! And I'll use my bandit.
It's the worst acting in the world.
Then I will take my Noel quiz joke to protect you guys.
I said it before.
Everyone ready?
I don't know if you heard me. I can't see anything other.
You can't hear anything. You can read the subtitles.
See anything. It's still in Lunar New Year observances.
God damn it. So you can hear it, but you can't see it.
I can hear it. I just can't see it.
Well, imagine three...
But I don't know if it's coming on to the stream. It might just be our...
Oh, you're seeing the webpage thing on the other screen.
Yeah.
That's my fault. Whoops. It's not coming in through this. They're watching what I'm watching and hearing what I'm hearing.
Okay. Just as long as they're seeing.
You aren't.
I was just like, yeah, all right, fire, water, sure, whatever. He's going on his rant.
All right.
Can
Can you hear it?
Oh, I can slay the monster with one punch!
Monster.
Let's clean it up!
Oh yeah!
It was an American advertising firm definitely
Genshin
writing,
Impact.
like going
Team
through.
up with friends now.
Why the text to speech ad?
I don't know.
The
It was.
weird ad.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Impact for 2 weeks and got to level 15.
I played for 1 week and got to level 20.
I also played for 1 week and
Is this from like when it first?
How did you level up so quickly?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Salmon
we
is
need to
really
get our
I can't
players
imagine
up.
that
impact,
they
no
would
matter
have
if
to
it's
have
scoring or
done
fighting.
this like
So first,
2
you can
years
consume more stamina saving food.
I mean, you'll see them every once in a while, especially if you've never played Genshin Impact or never clicked on it or anything. That is their intro into it. But then they have cool trailers with like, and you'll see them all over YouTube, or they've been playing as ads.
You just seen more of the like stereotypical anime ad.
Right. It'll anyway. They've gotten really good with their production when it comes to their commercials. Here we are talking about fucking Genshin again. Zach, have you finished packing for your
Oh
move?
god, no. And if anything, I'm actually slacking.
With Omen,
I'm slacking on packing. I'm a packer slacker.
You are a packer slacker. Fix that.
Okay.
Do you think it's harder to pack because you're older, or because is it a combination of that and like just being like you wait until the last day to pack?
It has nothing to do with any external factors. It's all internal. I'm just a mess of a person who likes to wait until the last minute to get things done. It's just who I am at this point. I've made my peace with it. So should everyone else. My wife has. She's not as bad. Usually she is. This time around, she's been marginally better. She's gotten all of her books packed at least.
That's the
which,
heaviest thing, probably.
if you don't know, is a ton of books. You would think for somebody with so many books, she wouldn't want to move as much as we do. And yet, we're seemingly moving now more than ever. It
Well,
used to be contained to like once a year,
Yeah.
once every 12 months, and now it's we'll have moved twice in a year.
Well, it's
Granted, it's a little different because it's just transferring a unit,
Yeah.
but you're still picking up and moving shit. And
well, to be
that
fair, you're
sucks.
not. You hired people too, right?
I'm moving some of the stuff because there's some things they won't move.
Your underwear, just like a bag.
No, they'll move that. They get all up in there.
Ew.
That's their tax.
What hires are you hiring? What task
they're-
rabbits are
they're-
rabbiting? You're
Not
rabbit.
task rabbit. It's the underwear movers. They specifically only move underwear.
Weird. What
Yeah.
a niche job.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And yet they're still going strong. 15 years in the business.
well, I wonder how the new apartment's gonna look. Are you gonna do anything different?
No. I'm trying to think.
Okay.
It's going to be a little. It's a little smaller on the inside
Right.
because we have an attached garage which takes up some space, and then the floor plan is different. It's a smaller floor plan. So it will be a little bit less open than our current space.
Right.
Now, obviously, anyone watching this doesn't have a full context of what that is, but the room that I was in before, I moved, or I got this set up in here.
Yeah.
That's like a big ass living room
Hmm.
with just like a big open space. It was big enough to where at one point we had moved the couch over to the far wall, and we basically just had a like open space for VR. So that
Give
kind
you
of gives you an
exercise.
idea of the space that we were working with. In the new place, that most likely will not be happening.
Oh no.
Just because it's like it loses something like 150 square feet,
That's a lot.
and it's all out of the living room.
Yeah.
Like the bedrooms are the same size, the bathrooms are pretty much the same size, but all the living room space is what gets lost there.
That's kind of. I mean, if I had to make that sacrifice, the living room would be the room that I would want to lose room. You know.
Well, and it's a little frustrating on some level because there was some stuff that happened when we were first looking into transferring that for extenuating circumstances out of our control, i.e., someone screwed us over. We could have been in the very same floor plan, just on a first floor. And then some mistakes were made
On the apartment side.
On the apartment side, and I'm just gonna it just increasingly gets more like blunt to where I'm like naming the person in the front.
Here's their address.
Yeah, there was some miscommunication from them, and they gave it to someone else essentially, and so at least as a recompense, we're able to transfer into this new unit we're going to, which does have an attached garage, which that other one did not. So that's something at least for no transfer fee. So that's nice.
That's pretty cool.
At the very least.
So you traded a living room for a garage?
Kind of. It's just the garage is not included in the floor plan measurement.
I mean, yes. It's the garage is not part of the floor plan.
Yeah,
but I didn't mean literally. I just mean like circumstantially.
Yes, circumstantially, yes. It was lower or smaller floor plan, but you get a guaranteed parking spot.
I just imagine like you leave your bedroom in your fucking car.
Gotta go to work. Which you know, you've been to this complex a couple times, so you know how shitty the parking is. So
yeah,
having a guaranteed spot is
well for you. But if I go over there, I still have shitty parking.
At the very least, it's in a spot where there's a lot more access to external parking.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's basically where we are now is like tucked away in a corner.
Yeah.
That like all the surrounding parking spots are shared by like 3 or 5 buildings, and
not 4.
All of those buildings have between 3 and 5 buildings, because just the way they're kind of like situated,
right? Yeah.
Different people have parking spots behind.
All it takes is for 2 apartments to have some sort of party or guests over.
Each apartment has I want to say like 20 units, or each building has like 20 units. So when you're tucked away in a corner like that, it makes parking spots very rare.
Yeah. And then you're walking up a hill, or you're and then
running
more
up
stairs. Yeah. Where? Where? I'm still sick of that song. So, moving past all that. No. When Stranger Things played, when that song was in that episode, of course it became huge, top of the charts again. You know, on the radio, top of the charts. So but then the radio started playing it over and over and over again because it was super popular because of the show. And at my work, we have music playing through the speakers, you know, for everybody's sanity. And it would change, you know, every once in a while. Like we did Halloween playlists where Halloween music or songs from Halloween movies were playing, like This Is Halloween, that kind of stuff. And then Christmas, we had Christmas music for 6 weeks, about as long right after Thanksgiving. We started getting Christmas music every day, and you're listening to that for 8 hours a day. And then we finally switched back about a week and a half ago to normal music, like normal chart top whatevers. But guess which song is still on that playlist?
Running Up That Hill.
Running Up That Hill. I'm still listening to that fucking song since Stranger Things season 4 just plopped it in there, you know?
It's one of those things where it's like, it's a great song. I love that song.
Yeah.
And because it is in the social zeitgeist now, it runs the risk of like annoying the shit out of you, even though it's a great song.
I mean, I'm not knocking the song. I've listened to it too many times.
I don't listen to actual radio that much anymore.
Right.
I used to quite a bit. Basically, when I didn't have Bluetooth in my car, and my only option was a cassette adapter that had an aux cord at the other end of it.
I remember. I think I still have one in my car.
I still have that flying around here somewhere. I'm not sure where, but yeah.
You never know.
I don't run into that as much because kind of what we were talking about at the beginning of this podcast. I just have playlists that I've made, and so if I just hit shuffle on that, I'm gonna hear, and they're long playlists. Casey makes playlists that are like 30 songs long generally.
Right.
My playlist can get to like 150.
Yeah, it's just what fits in that playlist, right? Do you like? Are you talking about like just this is a couple of songs that I want to listen to over and over again, or is it like it's categorized by mood or genre?
It changes. I do both. I'll do mood playlists and just like if I want to make a new I'm going to work playlist, then I'll just start throwing things that I think gel well together and I like them.
I'm going to work. I'm going to work.
Yeah, but then on the flip side of that, I also am constantly listening to like a rotation of 4 podcasts. And so by the end of the week, I'll have usually only listened to music going to and from work like one day of the week.
Right.
Just because I have podcasts on.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by store.lightscameranonsense.com, where you can help support your favorite new podcast by representing it out there in the real world. We've got movie posters, we've got t-shirts, we've got stickers, we've even got hats. So do what all the cool kids are doing and buy all your merch at store.lightscameranonsense.com. Enter in the code GGPOD at checkout and get 15% off of your order today. Insert slogan here. Back to the show. That's the thing with
me. It take a minute to get through a 3-hour podcast.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, because I live so close to my current job, it's like podcasts are kind of hard to come by. I used to have a 25 minute drive, and so that was easier to justify. But now, not really. I can listen to 3 songs, and then I'm at work.
Yeah, and if I'm working from home for a day, then that's a little easier because I just have it on in the background.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I am contained in my music listening these days. It's basically shower time. If I'm working from home and I have already listened to all my podcasts, or on the off chance I'm driving somewhere. But that in itself is rare if it's not work.
Keep going.
That was it.
Dang it.
It was just poor timing. What are you looking for? What are you bringing up?
I don't know. Are you able to see the Red Rabbit YouTube?
I am.
That's what you're looking at. Okay.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
All right. I just don't peep my search history over here. All right.
Oh, I can't.
Well, all right then.
I don't know what they're saying though.
They're seeing the same thing you're seeing.
Okay.
I wanted to line up with that. All right. We're still in theme here. Do you have any lunar New Year's resolution?
I already said.
I know. I was just messing with you.
God.
All right. Have you seen anything good on the telly recently?
I did just watch something, and I've forgotten.
Well, I can tell you about Missing, which just came out.
Go ahead. Tell me about Missing.
Did you watch Searching, starring John Cho?
No. Wait, that's the...
it's all on a computer screen.
Is that the one where he's looking for his daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
That was a tense movie.
It's the same thing. It's a similar thing. It's a young girl trying to find what happened to her mother in Guatemala or Cambodia, one of those. and it's the exact same premise. It's all on a computer screen. It's all on like Snapchat or Twitter or whatever, and it's just as good. I liked it just as much.
Right.
It may have started off a little bit slow, but yeah, a pretty interesting movie. It's pretty quick and too. It's intense. I will say the twists aren't very twisty, but it's a pretty good movie. You can check that out in theaters right now.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot lately. I've been on a big gaming tear as of late. I forgot to talk about it last time, but I had actually finished Bastion for the first time ever.
Oh, nice.
I had started playing it for about 15 to 20 minutes before, years ago.
Right.
And it just there was something about it that I bounced off of, and it didn't quite hit quite right. But and I do want to say, when you're first starting that game, the intro is not entirely enticing, I don't think. It doesn't really like start to hit its stride until you actually get to the Bastion, which granted is like, if you can power through like that's basically the first 10 minutes of the game is getting to the Bastion.
Right.
And it's just like, it's kind of like a first chapter of the book or a prologue, where if it's not like super good, then you run the risk of like having people bounce off of it.
Right. What was that?
But
Yeah.
that being said, once it starts into its flow, really, really enjoyable. And I know this is like, oh wow, Bastion's a good game, surprise.
Yeah.
Um,
Very, very late.
But
To the
yeah,
game.
it's a very good game. I very much enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it enough to where I finished it and then immediately went through it again, which was part of the like the achievement list. But
okay.
it wasn't just that. It was just like
Okay.
the game itself is like overall fairly short. So by the time you're done, at least for me, which is kind of like the inverse of the feeling I had when I first started, where I got to the end and it's like, I just want a little bit more. Like, I'm not quite done with that vibe and world.
I mean,
so
if you
I
liked it
went
so
ahead
much,
and
you want to
went
go
through it.
back,
Yeah. And I found that is indicative of like a good game for me. If I finish it and I'm immediately thinking, I want to go through that again.
Right.
I would have done it with Elden Ring if Elden Ring wasn't already so
very long
fucking
game.
massive.
Yeah.
Um,
We both
but,
seem to be
yeah.
playing games that don't end.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, really enjoyable. Great music. And as you can tell, it's gorgeous. So, yeah, if you're like me and haven't actually played Bastion all the way through, I would highly recommend it. It goes on sale fairly regularly for like $3, I think.
yeah.
So, if you are into Hades, it's a little different. Just fair warning.
Eh.
I say that because it's by the same guy, the same people.
Same team.
But if you're like me and you were okay with Hades, the general gameplay of it, but you weren't as hype about it as everyone else, Bastion might be a better option for you.
Well, this has been Zach's Gaming Corner. Hey, I can't like complain. I'm not complaining.
We talked about Genshin
I know. That's what I was
Impact for like a combined total of 30 minutes.
No,
What are you talking about?
no, hold on. I was talking about my addiction. You're talking about your general
You
love
did
and
pulls
enjoyment
on
for-
stream.
Shut up. I didn't get anything good, and I'm very sad. I'm very sad because statistically, it should be 1 in every 10 pulls you get something at least 4-star, maybe even a 5-star. And that's not the case. It's not
Well,
the
then
case.
that would naturally happen when you're recording and broadcasting to people.
No, because then I would have planned it ahead of time to at least get something good.
No, I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. Like naturally, the time you get shit pulls is when everybody's watching.
Yeah. Then yeah. That's
When
been
all
my
the
general
girls
luck.
are watching you.
All the ladies are talking about Nick's fucking Genshin
Pulls.
account. I don't even have that good of an account. When I see some people play that game, the way that they know how to play that game, people are using like specific terms. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that kind of is. I see it on the screen. I don't know what it does, but you apparently know because you researched it and spent an entire YouTube career. No offense, just talking about. I mean, it gets the views because people love playing that game. I have a problem with a game that's not going to end for years. Like,
So, are you gonna jump on the Honkai?
Star Rail or Zenless Zone Zero?
Yeah,
Probably.
whatever.
I'm gonna at least try them. I think everyone who's a Genshin player was originally a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild player. You know, at some point or another, they loved those games. They hopped onto Genshin, never looked back because it's a continuously evolving and expanding game. You're making me talk about Genshin Impact again. But anyway,
I'm not making you do shit.
everyone who's played Genshin Impact, they tried Tower Fantasy, and some people stayed with Tower Fantasy. I consider it to be a cheap knockoff. It's not fully polished like Genshin is. And then there's Honkai Star Impact, which is a different thing that also feels unpolished. And then Star Rail, which is coming out, which is just Honkai Impact in space.
Yes.
And then Zenless Zone Zero, which is a cool, hip, Jet Set Radio Future look
See,
to
if
Genshin.
If I get pulled into one, I think that's gonna be it. Because
The
that
Zenless?
aesthetic, I super gel with.
Yeah, the kind of urban,
Yeah, like jet set radio
Yeah.
sort of vibe.
like
Yeah.
I said. But that's such an old reference because
I was zoning out.
of course you were zoning out. You heard the word Genshin and you're like, oh, hold on, let me turn off my
Yeah.
brain here for a second. I want to look at the. I haven't seen the trailer in forever. They literally have not talked about. They do drip marketing. That's the thing about MiHoYo or HoYoverse or whatever they want to call it. They do drip marketing. They'll release like alphas and betas for. God, I don't care about Grammarly. I have Grammarly. Leave me alone. But they'll show off characters and stuff in trailers, and you won't know about it until you follow the subreddit or you follow the correct like Twitter account, and they'll be like, "Hey, here's a leak from China 3 weeks ago about this character." That's how I know about characters that are coming out months in advance for Genshin.
Yeah.
Because I follow those circles. I have a problem.
Well, when you get a release date for this Zenless Zone, go tell me.
Okay.
That'll be how you get me to play a Genshin game with you.
Okay. Well, I got our mutual friend Dee to play Genshin for like a small amount, and then she dropped it real hard, and she'll never.
I'm
go back.
gonna be honest. A lot of my issue with Genshin, talking about games that you've bounced off of, I did that super hard with Breath of the Wild, which I know is like sacrilege,
Wow.
right?
It's good.
But I played that game for like 3 or 5 hours. I did it again. What was that range that I like to gravitate to? 3 and 5. I don't know. Yeah, for a while. I played it for quite a while.
4, you suck. You're
Fuck
the worst
4.
number.
I hate 4.
You're all-
Even numbers suck.
You're all twisty and like why? Just even
And-
numbers. You're you know what? Forget 4. We're moving past 4. Fuck even numbers. Half of the numbers I don't
All
like
of
them.
Yes.
That seems like iffy.
Mm.
Like hating half of anything is such an extreme.
I hate percentiles too. Don't bring them up to me.
Oh God. 50
Yeah,
isn't even a number.
I keep meaning Breath of the Wild has been the game where I've been like, I need to go back and play that or try it again for like 3 years for me. And I don't really want to, is the thing. So for me, when people are like, yeah, and they say it like kind of deridingly so, when they're like, oh yeah, Genshin's just like Breath of the Wild, you know, like it's just a knockoff Breath of the Wild. And I'm like, okay, but that doesn't pull me in. Like, if anything, that's a negative for me.
I think, well, that's they're trying to use it as a negative. People will compare it to be a knockoff Breath of the Wild because they don't want you to be interested in that game.
But they're using it in a sense of like, well, yeah, if you like Breath of the Wild, you'll like Genshin, but it doesn't do it as good as Breath of the Wild. And I'm over here like, did Breath of the Wild do it good?
Yeah, they did. You were in the minority on
I know I am. And like, objectively, you cannot say like it's not a grand scale game, right? It's not an impressive game. It's just, for me, the style of it, for whatever reason, and this is coming from a person who played hours. Elden Ring was my most played game of last year,
right?
And they're kind of set up similarly in terms of like wandering around a big open area, picking up little things here and there, side quests and whatnot. Less so on Zelda's Breath of the Wild's position, but less story. You know, like it's more about the gameplay overall.
Right. It's all learned about through like stuff that you don't have to do. So like you can play as little of that story as possible.
Yeah,
I think that's what makes it more interesting as a Zelda game.
For sure. And you know, maybe in a post Elden Ring world, I'll feel differently about it if I go back to it now. Maybe I just wasn't ready. It was ahead of its time.
It was definitely like the most interesting. It was a very beautiful game played on handhelds that we didn't have a lot of beautiful games up until that point, other than Mario Odyssey. Like,
yeah, and I think too another problem I have, and this goes into a issue I have with the Switch as a whole. Mario Odyssey was the first Switch game I played, and I don't know if we've told this story before, but I actually got my hands on a Switch for the first time at my bachelor party when you brought yours along with Mario Odyssey,
right?
And I just like we did our drinking and all that the night before, and then the next morning I was up before everyone else, and I just played Mario Odyssey for like 3 hours straight. I could not put that thing down.
It's like, how many shines
it's
you
what
get me?
convinced me to buy a Switch. And
shines.
I don't know if I've played something that measured up to Odyssey hardware wise, because it's the best performing Switch game I've ever played.
Right.
And Breath of the Wild has definite performance issues for me, and it comes down to the hardware as a whole. So, in short, Nintendo, release a goddamn Switch Pro. I'm tired of waiting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actively avoiding playing my Switch half the time because I cannot handle the suboptimal performance. The frame drops fucking kill me.
Well, and to Breath of the Wild's advocate here, or devil's advocate here, it was also optimized for the Wii U. So I mean, that was its main issue. But there are games that are coming out for the Switch, like in the last couple of months, that are buggy as shit. The new Pokemon
all
games.
those Hyrule Warrior games and Fire Emblem those I played Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U, and I loved it. I sunk many hours into it. I cannot bring myself to buy those games because I've seen the performance of them, and it's atrocious.
It's trying to do too much for a system that can't handle it.
Like, be for real.
I want to play the new Fire Emblem.
And I never thought I'd be this person, right? Because like it never used to bother me, but now I found like if you're hitting below 30 frames, it's just I can't do it. I can't fucking do it unless I'm like playing a actual classic console or game.
Yeah,
where it's to be expected. This is current hardware, or it's supposed to be current hardware. It's really last gen hardware at this point.
It was last gen when it came out.
Yeah, and it's just like I am so over this like deficit of performance coming out of Nintendo. I want to play like Odyssey quality performance all the time because when I was playing that, there was like, yeah, it's 30 frames, but it's smooth. It doesn't hitch at all. I'm getting worked up. It's just like there's so many games I want to play on the Switch, and like I stop myself because I think this will be bad. Like not the game itself, just the system is not built for this. And the developers are outpacing it. They're doing more than the system can handle. It's pissing me off.
But that's I mean, that's exactly why I like playing. Getting back to the main point, why I like playing Genshin Impact. Not only is it being optimized for fucking phones, but also for PCs. Like they have it to where you can play on either of those. They made an announcement forever ago, ironically, that Genshin Impact was going to be on the Switch, and then they just never released it. And I think because
that's
they
true.
knew,
Yeah, I do remember them making that announcement
because they knew that it wasn't going to work. Yeah. And that's why they're like, well, the only thing we can put it on that has the latest technology is going to be fucking cell phones and computers, because that's what people constantly update.
Well, that's why you see all these bigger releases, like The Witcher and Kingdom Hearts, being fucking cloud-based.
Yeah. And
it's like, that comes with its own set of, like, if anything, that is actually, most of the time, worse, which is saying something. But that's the only way they can get those games on that console, because it's just, buddy, are you serious?
I need
I
to be pet.
But he's going on a tear now.
Yeah,
he's like fucking done.
I see him. That poor guy. Does he need to go out at all, or
no? He's just Casey's at the coffee shop writing, and
Casey's at the coffee shop.
I found whenever she leaves, he has to be right next to me, like this on the bed. That's too far.
Yeah.
So actually, out in the living room right now, I have. Do you know that long white ottoman that's usually in front of the TV?
Yeah.
I have that pulled over to the side of my desk. So it's literally like up next to my leg when I'm sitting at my desk. Because that's how close he has to be whenever she's gone. Like, he doesn't prefer me if she's here. Like, he'll follow her around no matter what.
He just needs a human.
But if she's not here, then he has to be like attached to me. I don't know what it is.
But
when she's here, he even like is cool with being a little spaced out from her.
Yeah,
you know, like she has a little chair next to her desk in her office, and it's like a good 2 feet away from her chair. Right. So I don't know what his deal is with me specifically.
He's got abandonment issues. And we all have abandonment issues in some.
That's true.
way.
That's true. From the womb to death.
Yeah. We all just want to get out of there. But also not, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'd rather not.
Fair enough. Let's get back here.
Get out of life, as it were. I'm okay with being out of the womb.
Oh, yeah. It would definitely be uncomfortable being back in there.
Yeah.
For sure. I need to go to the bathroom. How do I? Gross. Don't. Let's move past it.
Just take a turn. There's somebody who stumbled upon this and is like, yes,
finally, womb talk. Let's move past this. Zach, is there anything that you're looking forward to in like the next few months?
Moving. And these dogs are killing me. Now Bella's underneath me.
Oh God, they're killing him. Somebody call the police.
Let's see, what else? Hopefully healthier lifestyle. Losing some weight.
Well, how are you going to do that if you lose the VR space that you had in your living room?
Well, we'll have VR spaces. It's just not going to be like in a scenario where we can both be in the same room doing VR. We're going to have to be separated.
Oh no, what a first world problem. We don't have enough VR space for each other.
Our living room is too small for multiple VR users at one time.
We're so close yet so far.
Oh gosh.
Meanwhile, I'm like, I have to push the kitchen table out of the way to make room. Like I guess I could make room in my room. You could probably tell my bed's a mess. I have laundry here, here. So it's I got a lot of space. I gotta make room. And then I feel embarrassed because my roommate is watching TV, eating his lunch, whatever, eating dinner, depending on whenever I'm doing it. And then I come out with my headset and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I'm playing Beat Saber, I'm making moves that make sense to me in my through my eyes, or through my body movements. And he's over here like watching about the history of the IRS in the other living room. And I'm just I'm trying to play, futuristic DDR Lady Gaga music, kind of thing. I feel embarrassed. Why am I so off frame? Hello. Hi.
I think this is coming from somebody who uses VR regularly as well.
Probably more than I do.
Maybe it's a little biased, but I think the hilarity, as it were, of people moving with VR has lost a bit of its edge. I think
the laughter or lost. Oh, okay. So like if somebody's in VR, you don't really necessarily mock them.
Look at this person using VR, isn't it silly? It's like, well, but we have context for it now, so it's less silly. Like,
I mean, unless
what is funny?
What? Tell
with
me what's
VR.
Funny.
The one thing that I think is still funny with VR is when you have an older person who has never used VR use VR, and they're freaking out. That to me is funny. Yeah, just like that. Just Mickey Mouse using fucking Oculus. Oh boy. I love Beat Saber.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it.
That was your Mickey impression?
Well, it wasn't my true one.
Give me your true one to close out the show.
It's too powerful.
Go ahead. Do you want to outro the show as Mickey?
No.
It's not even that hard.
You're not that hard.
Gross.
Get hard.
This has been the Good Goose Podcast.
Get hard. This has been the Good Goose Podcast. You can catch us here on Twitch, YouTube, or anywhere you find your local podcasts. I'm pretty sure. Go look for us. Good Goose Inc. You find us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, obviously. You can even find us on Patreon, where you can help support your favorite new podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Make sure to follow us and subscribe if you love watching our content live. And we will see you next time. Oh boy.
Was that Mickey Mouse again?
Yeah.
Okay, great.